Oh. Hi, can you hear me okay, Sarah?
I can, yes. Hello.
Okay. Hi, I'm going to actually give you controls too. I'm
Okay.
going to make you a host.
Okay, cool.
I'll make you a host. Change host. Okay. And then it's already recording.
Okay,
So you're all set, and I'm just going to
cool.
leave and
Okay.
admit everybody right now. And then
Yeah.
as that you see them, you can just allow them in as well. Do you have
Okay.
any questions for me before I go?
Um, I don't think so. I'm just looking. I'm not usually a Zoom. It's been a minute since I've used Zoom, so I'm looking at where I share. Oh, good. We have people.
Yes. I actually can't let
Awesome.
people in because I made you the host. I'm not
Oh,
a
okay.
co, so you have to let
Uh,
them in. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's
Um,
okay. I can
but
do that. I see where I do
so
that.
okay, perfect. We'll have a great webinar
Thank
and
you.
thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too. I might see you later for some of the other ones.
Maybe. Thank you, Evelyn. Good morning, those of you who are in.
Good morning.
Morning. I think we'll wait a couple minutes, then we'll get started.
Sarah, there's sketches available for this, correct? Is it just one?
Correct. Uh-huh. Yep, a general sketch. Mhm.
All right. I think a general, not career college or military.
Right. So it's a general.
Uh,
Were you hoping for college, career, or military?
yeah, I was, and I'm super
Okay.
busy and just
Yeah.
and swamped. So I'm actually gonna dip out. I need to
Okay,
cut
that's
off.
okay. That's okay. Understandable. Take care.
Thanks. You too. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
We can go ahead and get started. Um, so people, I just made it so I don't think I have to keep admitting people from the waiting room. I think they can just pop right in if we have anyone else join us. So it looks like we've got 8 of us total. So I think it makes sense to go ahead and we can go ahead and share our name, where we work, what and let's go ahead and share if you had a particular topic that you were wanting to discuss today. As we do that, I have some ideas for some what I think are common topics that all of us might be interested in talking about, but um, go ahead and share out as you introduce yourself if you had specific topics that you were hoping to cover. And um, yeah, and let's add in there too. Um, let's add in what we want to do or what we hope to do over spring break. So I'll go ahead and kick us off. If you're able to, we might have you pop your video on and share with us. If you're not able to do that, you can add it in the chat, depending on what you have going on and what your technology access is. So I'm Sarah Dickman. I'm a high school, actually right now a CTE school counselor. I've been in CTE for the past 7 years or so. So I work primarily with juniors and seniors. In my line of work, I'm at a career center through KRESA in Kalamazoo. And I'll show you the topics I thought about a little bit later because I want to see first if maybe you had entirely different topics you wanted to discuss. So we'll wait and see. But over spring break, my goal is to get as much sunshine as possible. My daughter's a senior this year. We're heading to Cancun, and so I hope to catch as much sun as possible over there. All right. Feel free to go ahead and pop in if you're able.
I'm gonna test my mic. This is Beth. Hi, Sarah. Can you guys hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, great. Hey, I'm Beth from St. Joseph County. So I am the career coordinator for the county. So I work with all the counselors in our county doing career development, and I just bring back as much information as I can to our counselors in our county. So and I do work out of the CTE office. um, for St. Joseph County and spring break, sun and sleep. So a little bit of R&R.
Yes,
So
that's wonderful. Beth, did you have any particular topics that you wanted or burning questions that you hope to get answered today?
of course, I will bring any information I can that you're sharing, but also just career development, some career development ideas, how you're managing that in the high school area, how others are implementing career readiness things.
Mhm. Perfect. Thank you, Beth. Hey. Um, all right. Susan, are you able to share?
I think I am. Yeah.
Okay. We
Yeah,
could
my
hear.
goal for spring break is just to catch up on my sleep because I just
Mhm.
think that I am very sleep deprived right now. Because I know when we get back that next Monday, state testing starts. So
Yes, busy time of year for sure. And what building do you work in?
actually, I work for a virtual charter academy, Michigan Virtual Charter Academy. So
Mhm.
I actually work out of my home.
Oh, great. Thank
I'm a
you.
high school counselor, and I know Beth was talking about CTE stuff, and we actually
Mhm.
have a dedicated counselor that does our career readiness education. And then we also have a dedicated counselor trying to build our CTE program, teaming up with the different intermediate school districts and career centers throughout the state of Michigan, because our students come from all over the state of Michigan.
Okay. And then did you have any specific topics you were hoping to cover today?
Nope, just soaking
Okay.
up everything, all the knowledge that everybody wants to share today.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. All right. How about Amy Dawson? Are you able to share? Check our chat here too. Okay. Stephanie, are you able to share?
Hi, I was just getting set up. So what were you asking to share?
Yeah, no problem. So we were having you say, and I saw you have it in the chat too, but basically, I see that you're at Woodhaven High School, 9 through 12 counselor. So we were for fun, we were sharing what we hope to do over spring break, and then for business, we were going to have you just say if you had any particular topics you were hoping to discuss today as a group.
Spring break. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Usually we go to Marquette for some fun in the snow, but we just went there for the dog sledding races, so we're not probably going back there again. And so it's just figuring out. It might just be stay at home, staycation, chill,
Yeah.
sleep, and all of the
Yep.
things. Nothing in particular today. I just wasn't sure where this heads. I know it's kind of a sharing thing. I do have a PLC meeting at 10, so we'll see how much I can stay for, but glad to be here.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right. Anyone else able to go ahead and share?
Hello.
Hello.
So I have a parent that just showed up unexpectedly. So I'm gonna, you know, put my camera off and my mic off and hopefully I'll be back soon. But
Okay.
I wanted to say to Stephanie, I used to teach at Woodhaven High School in 2012, 2013, something like that, which is wild. But now I'm a school counselor at Fowlerville Schools.
All right. And what was it looked like what's your name? It looks like we had
Oh,
like part of your email address maybe.
yeah, Andrea Goosens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Hope you can join us again
Thank you.
soon. Yeah. This is recording though too, for anyone that needs to jump out temporarily. Um, the content will be recorded to access later.
I'm Amy Dawson. I'm from South Lyon East High School, and I am looking forward to spring break because I'm going to Punta Cana, so I'm going to be floating around in a lazy river and not worrying about a thing.
That sounds perfect. And then Amy, did you have anything in particular you were hoping to cover?
Um, I don't have anything in particular right now.
Okay. Okay. Feel free to, if something comes to any of you as we're discussing, obviously feel free to ask your questions.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, just seeing who else we have in here. I don't know, Vicky, are you able to share?
Hi, this is Vicki. I'm traveling right now,
Okay.
hands-free phone, everybody.
Okay, good.
Um, spring break, just do whatever I want when I want. That's my goal.
Mhm.
No deadlines, and I'm here just to listen and learn some new things, listen to other people. So I don't have anything in particular to share.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. All right, Nicole, are you able to share? Nicole Vaughn, are you able to share? Oh, it looks like she might have frozen. Okay. Well, we can go ahead and get started then. Thank you for doing the introductions. It's always nice to see who we have in the group to pull upon as we're talking about topics who might be, good at sharing information and things like that. So the things that I had sort of thought about discussing today that might be relevant to all or most of us in the group was career development. That was part of it. Potentially, scheduling for the next school year. For those of you who are doing scheduling, I remember doing that for several years as a traditional high school counselor. So being in CTE now isn't part of my responsibilities, but it was once upon a time for many years. And then someone brought up, the state testing coming up right after spring breaks. I don't know if that's anything that anyone wants to talk about, because I know that unfortunately falls on high school counselors quite a bit too, that responsibility. And then, of course, we have graduation right around the corner for our comprehensive high school counselors. One thing I was curious about, I always want to get ideas about, is decision day as well, to see if anyone's doing anything special for that, to get different ideas. So those are sort of my topics that I came up with. And as I said, we're pretty informal for this Zoom, so feel free to jump in as needed, or to, comment on our topics. So I can say what we did new this year. So at our Career Center, we previously had our students spread out all over the county at different vocational courses. And this year is our first year to have our new Career Center open over by Wing Stadium off of Sprinkle Road and I-94. So if you're in the area, feel free to stop by and see me. I'm happy to show you around. But for us, the big benefit is, having the students all, for the most part, under one roof. We've got some that are still satellite programs that aren't here directly, but one thing we were able to do for career development is we're going into the classrooms to do presentations using Zello. So our county emphasizes the use of Zello quite a bit. It's purchased for all of the schools in our county. We have some staff that works with even elementary, middle school students. And so we're trying to get them all using Zello. So it's a tool that students are consistent with. And so we went in to do sort of like the self-awareness portions, having them do the assessments in there, the matchmaker, learning styles, personality styles. And then we had them our next lesson was having them, do a little bit deeper dive into what their options are as far as, what the credentials are that they're going to get through our CTE program, and then what the next step would be, depending on if they're looking for additional certification or if they're wanting to go to community college or university, if that's appropriate for their career pathway. And then the next time we go in, hopefully next month, because it starts to get really busy, we're going to have them sort of do more of a plan, like what are the next steps? If it's an apprenticeship, have you found one? Have you applied? If it's next step college, have you applied? Do you need help with financial aid? All of that good stuff that goes with those next plans. One thing we did, and I don't know if other schools are doing, we had our students who wanted to, they were able to opt in to taking the ASVAB assessment. It's just such a robust career development tool. Zello is, as you know, those of you who use it know it's just an interest inventory. So it comes up with some interesting results. Circus performers, my favorite, that comes up, and I'm just like, oh gosh. So it's just interest inventory. Whereas, if they are taking the ASVAB test, it is an aptitude test. So it gives a little bit more information. And then they have a website tied where they come in and do an score interpretation workshop so that they can understand their score report. They can get into their website that has really robust avenues for exploring what all of their options are. And one thing that's nice as a counselor is they really run all of it. So we did a sign up for students. I had them do a permission form just because it was during CTE class. We were pulling them from class to do it. And then they have staff come back later. The Michigan National Guard is who we went through to come and run the whole workshop. So they proctor it, they do the workshop. It's really not a lot of work on our part. So that's kind of what, the highlights of our career development that we've been doing. Any other ideas of things that are going on in your building or through your department along the lines of career development?
Hey, Sarah, I would have a question on, since you're utilizing Zello, and I know it's heavily utilized in your public schools as well, and the high schools, how do you cross and not do the same thing what they already did in the classroom
Good
in your
question.
public? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do see that a lot. Like you said, our public schools, especially our larger districts, Kalamazoo, Portage Public Schools, are utilizing it more than some of our smaller schools. And certainly for our students attending any of the private schools, sometimes that's their first time seeing it. A lot of the schools aren't using it regularly in their home districts. And so it's really trying to differentiate. So what I do personally, and I think colleagues as well, I just sort of have it ready where helping students log in for the first time sometimes, giving them a brief tutorial, and I have slides that walk students through it. For the students that are like, oh my gosh, I did this already at my homeschool, I ask them if they've done it yet this school year. If they haven't done it yet this school year, then I encourage them to do the assessment, the matchmaker again, because I just explained to them that, they could get different results. They're young, they're still learning about new opportunities. And so for them, they could get different results from year to year. Usually that's enough that they're curious. They want to see if they got the same results or see if they get new results. But sometimes students literally have already done it that school year. And if so, I have slides for them that sort of start them in that deeper dive, working with the filter a little bit as far as what level of education or additional training they're looking for. So keeping them busy with that sort of thing. But that can be a difficulty, is just everyone can be at all different spaces using that tool.
That's such a good idea with the deeper dive because some of the districts just don't go deep. So I'm glad that the CTE students get it. That's a good idea. A question about your ASVAB then. Did you choose to do it near the end of the school year instead of the beginning, or
Yeah, that's a
because
good
you'd rather do
question.
the assessments first and make sure they get the deeper dive in Zello then
Yeah, that's a
ASVAB?
good question. So we honestly, with opening the new building, it was sort of by default that we just didn't feel quite ready to have everything in place to do it early in the year. But I agree. I think that going forward, we might try for the fall, to do it in the fall, maybe November or so, I think might be a little bit better because We got into the classrooms, I think, in October to do the Zello stuff. So it might make sense to like capture those that are interested in doing, a different assessment, possibly that following month in November.
And
That's
I
a good
just would have a
question.
question. Any of the other high school counselors here, are you guys utilizing Zello? I help our counselors get the buy-in from the like administration first, the principals to help get that enforced, and then like some teachers who are invested in it. That's the best way that we have found to implement them during their classroom schedules, and then just have set up days like once a month or at least once every other month. Set up if it's on the calendar. I find that high schooler, counselors have it on the calendar, it gets utilized more. Is there anyone else that utilizes that?
We use Zello, but the hardest part is getting into the classroom. So this year we have win time. So we're now going to be using win time since we can call a whole grade down and just this Thursday we're calling our seniors down to do another matchmaker just to kind of show them like, hey, there's some stuff you can use because if we can't get into the classroom, then it's kind of like students aren't using it.
We have a career development facilitator that does like the matchmaker and that part of it, but we do all the scheduling in Zello. I find it can be like very glitchy though when it comes to scheduling, especially if I have a transfer student or a student who's failed classes. I'm constantly like having to override stuff, and I wasn't sure if anyone else had any issues with that as well. Or do you guys do scheduling in Zello or not? Because I know not every school does it that way.
We started to, but there was some issue with uploading the classes. So we now just use MyStar, and there's a way to use MyStar for scheduling.
We used to use Zello for the career readiness lessons, and then our career readiness coordinator decided to switch to Pathful Explore the last few years. And then our parent company, K-12 Stride, bought Naviance for us because you can technically do course selection scheduling through Naviance. And it's a big glitch for all of it, every bit of it. We have not yet been able to use Naviance for anything. Our career readiness coordinator is creating her own lessons this year with some online resources like Big Future from College Board, some other career assessments that are online related. We're kind of lucky in the sense that we do have dedicated homeroom time every week on for like 40 minutes, and we can get into all the different grade levels during that homeroom time. So we actually have a dedicated Wednesday every month that we do a career readiness activity with the different grade levels. And because there's 5 of us counselors, each one of us goes to a different grade level. We're dedicated to a grade level, and we do the presentations to that particular grade level, and then our 5th counselor rotates to help out.
Go ahead.
I have heard, Amy, from the counselors, if they would have known, oh man, at the very beginning, a different way to set up that course planner, where they didn't have to do so many glitches. So I'm hoping to get more certified in the course planner area before we get our last 2 districts onboarding with the course planner, because they do have to do a little overrides, and especially like when they're failing class. And they have to retake that class again in the next year.
I was just going to add that I have used Zello for scheduling in two different districts previously. I know it's a lot of work on the front end to get it set up and upload the classes and get, all your graduation requirements entered correctly. So I can definitely sympathize that, it's glitchy at the start until you sort of get it really dialed in. But I really enjoyed using that so that students sort of had their full educational development plan right in that platform. And they were sort of using that platform for, all of the things. So I really did enjoy it. Once it got dialed in, I thought it was really useful. But I do remember that getting it dialed in was quite undertaking. And that's been a while since I've used that. I think going on 8 years ago. So I don't know what the updates have been since that time. All right. Anyone else want to add anything around career development, initiatives that you're doing in your building, or questions that you have that someone might have the answer to? Okay. So we sort of dipped our toe into it through our discussion about career development and platforms for that. But I don't know if anyone, had any discussion or questions around scheduling for next year or, educational development plans or anything in that category. I watch the chat here too. All right, looks like we're probably good there.
I know we are using Zello Course Planner, and we have been for quite a few years now. There are glitches. We just sort of catch them. We're a small district, so it's easier for us to just catch them as they come in. But we struggle with trying to encourage the teachers or get the teachers to integrate these lessons into their classroom. And so anybody have any ideas on that? They're just sort of not kind of getting the benefit of that they could take a lesson and make it their own, in their classroom with their particular students. It's just like, pulling teeth.
Mhm. Go ahead.
Sorry. Because I'm the career coordinator for our county. So it does take getting the administration on board, and then PD, I find it easier. And I always recommend giving them even just a small, give me 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, just to get them familiar with it at the beginning instead of like say, hey, here it is, and here's what we're going to do throughout the school year. Because teachers do not have time to go in and explore like I would like them to ahead of time and just get used to it and play. So that PD time, I do get them used to it and play. And then I also say, okay, now I have them pick out what's a content. Tell me a lesson plan that you would like to incorporate this in. One, so that it incorporates the content topic that you were teaching. And at the end of that lesson plan, how can you refer it to their future career, possible future career? So, but it's still hard to get in PD time too. So, and that seems to work some. Then I just challenge them like once, what content area, put it in your lesson plan. So, and then we build year after that. Okay, what's another lesson plan? And then some districts do have it, we said like a certain date. that everybody is trying to put it in that day in their plan. Yeah. Or some counselors then choose, we're going to do this section of Zello this date. And everybody's doing it like somebody said, like win time or an academic center time or bulldog hour or something like that.
Yeah, thank you, Beth. Yeah, I'm trying to think back. So I often did it in English classes because that was typically the class that all the students were in. So it was an easy spot to catch them. And I think what you said is right on, just working with the teachers to let them know, the benefit of the student to participate in that career development, and then trying to tie it into their standards that they're teaching, to make it something that they see, as, worthwhile as well. So a lot of times, the teachers I was working with were, tying it to an assignment, maybe it was specifically researching, so the students would do the assessments and then they would research, the career that, was recommended for them. And then maybe it was writing, out, a short paper about, the career that was recommended for them, or it was tying it in somehow though to the English curriculum, typically was how I did it.
When I was a science teacher, back in my original teaching days, my whole department bought into researching science careers, and then had the students do like a group project and present to the class, do the research, do presentation, and then present to their class their science career, because I was a science teacher back then.
I like the presentation aspect of that, because that's a great way for students to find out about different careers. Yeah, that's smart. I tried one little trick too, that to get the teachers involved with it too, is I would usually encourage them to, I'd make an account for them in Zello and invite them to do the matchmaker, to see if what they get recommended, just so they have that curiosity and they're taking the same assessment the students are taking, so they know kind of, the questions that are being asked of the students. And then I always try to engage the teacher when I'm talking about Zello and career development. How did they arrive at their career that they're in? Like what, did you always want to be a teacher, or did you start out in different careers? And then I always try to, get them involved that way, so that the students can see like how people in the real world, it's not always a linear path that people go to get to their current career. So that's just a little trick to like engage the teacher into the conversation as well. Because I it's tricky. Sometimes I always like the teacher to be in the room. I'm pretty comfortable now with classroom management. So I understand when teachers want to leave and go make copies or go get a cup of coffee or go do something they need to do. But I think it's more valuable if we can incorporate them into the conversation and the lesson as well, if possible. Right, good discussion. How is everyone feeling? Did anyone have thoughts or questions about state testing? I don't know how many of you, I'm curious how many of you are testing coordinators in your district, or do you have someone else in your district that's covering that? I'm hoping that's the case. Okay. All right. Let's check in chat. I don't see anything in there. Okay. So it sounds like we're good with state testing. Anything around graduation or graduation grad requirements. Is everyone on here familiar with the personal curriculum options that you have available to you if you need to utilize that for students? I think different districts are using the PC option to different degrees. Being a CTE school counselor, I always want to make sure that people know that, you know, there were some updates to the graduation requirements that allow for students to count different classes through CTE, because it's hard to fit that into schedules a lot of times with the grad requirements. So luckily they gave some flexibility there to help students fit it in. Okay.
There more than there was before for the
Go
CTE
ahead.
programs? Is there more than there was before? I mean, we have been using embedded credit and such with our career center.
Yeah, it's just
It's a change, I
what
guess.
yeah, I don't it's probably nothing, it's probably what you're used to. So just when I can't remember what year they added that in, but that they can count, you know, instead of their second year of foreign language, you know, their CTE can count for that and some of the fine arts credits depending on the CTE class. The third science credit and can count for that. And I know with our CTE programs, we added math into that curriculum to fulfill the math requirement in their final year. So that's what I was referring to. I think that's been around now a while. So nothing
Okay.
that I know of that's hot off the presses.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but thank you for the clarification. All right. So this is one that I would love to get ideas about. Decision day. I would love to see what people might be doing with that. You know, being in our new building, we want to do something special and emphasize decision day not only as like a college plans, but also for any student, you know, whether they are going, seniors are going right into the workforce, celebrating, you know, where they're going for that, celebrating students going into the military, going into apprenticeships, and then trade schools and the college route. So we want to celebrate all of those. And I'm just curious what people might be doing for that day. Because it's going to be the first time this year that we're doing that.
Well, we kind of make it a big to-do. First thing in the morning, you know, we have donuts and juice, and we raffle off some prizes, do some different things that way. But the one thing that we did last year, it was kind of neat, was we brought in different hats, lots of different hats, and other kind of like a boa and scarves and things like that. And then they dressed up in the different hats and took pictures of themselves. So that was kind of fun to watch that.
Different props and things like that.
We also do the photo booth thing. So we have a big celebration at the end of the day. They get cupcakes, they do photo booth, but the actual assembly part of it, they get to play different games, but then like in between, our college advisor announces like those kids going into the trades and those kids going into military, and then you know, some 4-year and some community college. So it's kind of still focused on not just party, but recognizing and celebrating where they're going off to. I think they sign a banner too of where they're going.
I like that. Has anyone had success with working with area employers to get involved too with parts of that celebration or?
Our military comes in and gives like the certificate or tells, the big fake check. And then some of the trades kids that are going, their bosses or their people that they'll be working with come in as well.
Nice. I like that. I saw one of the career centers, I think it was Calhoun Area Career Center, had it set up, and I can't remember the employer now, but it was an area employer, and they had it set up. It almost and did pictures. It almost looked like when athletes, sign with a college. It was like a similar vibe what they were doing, and I thought that was really neat to see. So yeah, what we're planning to do is we've got, a nice commons area. So we want to have the seniors utilize that space. And we were thinking a photo booth and, having a banner up for students to sign as well. So I love that idea. And we're hoping to get, snacks possibly from our culinary. I need to talk to those teachers. But I like the idea of raffle prizes as well. That's a fun idea. And then one thing we did this year too is we did for our spring needs assessment, we had the juniors and seniors take it. But for seniors in particular, we were asking, what they think their plan is and do they need help with any elements of that plan, so we can start to get an idea and then hopefully reach out to get some fun swag for the pictures from those colleges and employers that they're going to. Yeah, so it should be fun. All right. Anything else? So it looks like we have because we're doing a general sketch for this session. So we've got about 14 minutes left. Did any other topics come to mind as we were discussing different things?
Sarah, I would have a question on decision day.
Mhm.
Do you guys incorporate parents? I'm just curious. Or is
Good
this during the school
question.
day?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we were planning to do it during the school day. And that's tricky. Right now we don't have anything planned. I know that at Calhoun it was during the day as well, but we did invite parents to come, and that looked more like an award ceremony type thing that we did there. But it was nice to have parents come in for that, and we had someone there taking pictures, of the student and their teacher and anyone else they wanted in their picture as well. So that was nice, but yeah, it's hard to. And we do have an award ceremony. It's more an outstanding senior award, so that is during the day where parents can come. So that's a little bit different, but it would be fun to incorporate parents.
And
I have a
do you
question.
do all of CTE courses at the same time for decision day? Or do you do one track at a time? Or
Yeah, that's a good question. So we were thinking around that, and we do have the each program, because we're 2-hour classes, they get a break in there. So we were going to check with teachers and see what the break times are to see if we can stagger it that way, or if we need to be more intentional about having certain pathways or certain classes come down so it doesn't get too busy at any one time.
I have a question about decision day in general.
Mhm.
My concern has always been those kids that don't have a decision, don't have,
Mhm.
something planned out, and how that can make them feel this and like a failure. And how do you guys deal with those kids? Because I know I have some.
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. Any ideas around that? Our thought, we talked as a counseling team about that. Our thought around that is we are, as counselors, individually meeting with all of the seniors. And so we hope to kind of capture, if there's some indecision and validate that that's okay. So we want to also celebrate students who are maybe taking a gap year to figure things out. And hopefully making it so that, they don't feel any less celebrated, because that's valid too. Like it's a very individual decision. So we hope to just, have during our individual check-ins that conversation. And then I'm thinking that, on the banner, students will, write if they're taking a gap year, they're taking time. Some students, want to take a year to travel, and then they're going to come back and figure it out. So that was our thoughts. I don't know if anyone else has ideas around that.
We always have besides the college, colorful cards that they stick up with their name on it, but we also include all kinds of other things like gap year in a colorful card that they can put up there, or if they want to pick the I'm undecided card, they can choose that. Or if I'm going into a field, but so we have different cards for different careers that they can post up there. So everybody has the choice to choose something that pertains to them.
Yeah, I like the idea of the color-coded cards. That's a nice visual, I would think, of all the different things kids are doing.
Yeah, so they take we have the card, they take the card and then they write their name on it and then put it up on the banner.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I know in one of my past schools I worked in, that was a brick and mortar school. The students, most of them did go on to college rather than, work, or a few we would have go to the military. So we would have them wear a sweatshirt or a t-shirt of that college or military branch. And I had one student, I don't know where they found it, big old question mark. I'm like, okay, well, I can help you with that. We can help you with that question mark. And they're like, perfectly comfortable with my question mark. Okay.
Good. Good. Yeah, I've just noticed too in talking with students in my different roles I've had, it always sometimes students will say, well, I'm just going to community college first. And I'm like, you're not just going, like that's a really smart, valid option, So, I try to just instill in them too, like that's not a lesser than option. Particularly with the scholarships we have right now for community
With the
college.
community college guarantee, a lot of my kids are jumping on that bandwagon, for sure. So I'm happy to see that. I hope that stays. I hope that scholarship is available for a while. You know how we had
Definitely.
Michigan Promise Scholarship for a while there, and then we didn't.
Mm-hmm. I hope it stays around too. It's definitely a great option.
Mhm.
That leads me to another thought. I wonder how many of you are, working with organizations or doing your own drive for, FAFSA completions. Is that something, or how are you helping your students get that accomplished for those who need to fill out the FAFSA form?
Our school board voted to make it a graduation requirement.
Mm.
It's kind of weird, but we have a advisor representative that comes from our local career college and career access center, and they come and meet with students and do some things. So that person, we put that person in charge of pushing the FAFSA and helping kids
Wow.
get that started.
Yeah. Is this the first year that it's a graduation requirement in your district?
Mhm.
Okay. Has that been a challenge to get that done? And are there waivers available through your district or?
Yeah, there's definitely waivers.
Okay.
I don't think the community really knows yet. I don't think our board is has told the community and at large. So not getting a lot of pushback at this time. I'm sure when we
Okay.
get closer to graduation, we will, but
Yeah.
I think we'll head it off because we'll make sure that, with talking with each of our students, so we're keeping a regular tally sheet of where they are in the process. And those who are not going to do it, we're just going to make sure they have a waiver right away. So it's not an issue.
hmm Okay. So is the requirement in place for current seniors or it's something that's going to go in place next year?
This current senior year. Yeah.
Current. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, our
Um,
school and our counseling department voted not to do that just because we have such a large population that doesn't go to college. They go into the workforce or, some gap year or, in the future they might return and go into that pathway. But we didn't feel it was appropriate for our school to make it a graduation requirement because the first thing we would hear is, well, I'm not going to college. So why would I do that? And yes, we could do the waiver, but again, why make these kids feel like they should be doing something that is not their plan? Just making them feel like they're less because they're not doing it.
Well, I think MCAN has a really strong lobby, and it's
I know.
it's been pushed out to the superintendents, and everybody's jumping on board that, we
Yeah.
don't have, counselors don't have any say in it. We just have to implement whatever they decide. But I think, you have to consider who's benefiting from this initiative. And there you have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. I know that there was some legislation last year that MSCA was watching carefully and providing testimony for the bill that wanted to make it a statewide graduation requirement for the FAFSA. So that bill died out, and we haven't seen anything real strong come through again.
It's because they veered off into the let's get the superintendents on board. We'll give them a lot of money if they sign on to this.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that seems to be working, at least in our area.
Mm-hmm. So that's what initiated for your area, for your board signing up. Okay. Interesting.
The money. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Does anyone know? I used to have the FAFSA frame that kids could take pictures of after they've completed it. But I have to replace that. Does anyone know where to get that from? I've been looking all over the internet, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, where did
Or if
it
anyone knows what I'm talking about.
Doesn't
I'm sorry?
Deneen usually send that out in our counseling listserv? I think she usually sends a link to all the college application month stuff and then stuff for decision day, I think.
Okay.
Are you in the counseling listserv?
For MSCA?
No. Hang on. Let me find
Yeah, it's not anything
Oh,
MSC
not
is
Janine,
for.
Janine. It's the counselor learning community.
Hmm.
You get emails.
If I just Google that,
I can add you if you want.
sure. I'll put my email in the chat. Thank you.
Okay.
Is that a local listserv, Stephanie, or is that something for everyone?
I think it's for everybody in Michigan because they put out stuff by, yeah.
What was that called again?
Counselor learning community.
Okay.
May I add something? Sorry, I came in really
Yes.
late. For some reason
It's
on my
okay.
calendar, it was 10 o'clock.
Oh, so sorry.
So, yeah, that's a great listserv. But I usually, I don't post much because I've learned that superintendents, principals might be on it as well. So our frankness on that listserv to me is somewhat compromised. And I don't like to put myself out there if I'm trying to answer a question that's wrong with my district.
Sure. Thank you for adding that. Yeah, and so I will put my I'm the high school representative for MSCA's board, so I'll put my contact information in as well. So if you, as we come to a close here, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Anyone is welcome to reach out to me. And if I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. So yeah, all of these, avenues to just get help and ideas and get questions answered. Happy to help. All right. Did everyone in here get a chance to register for today for the sketches piece? Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone's time. It is 10 o'clock. So hopefully this was valuable for you all to get some information. And I see that Stephanie put that email address in here. I'm going to catch that because I just might sign up for that too, or email her to ask her to add me.
I think it was all like started with Michigan College Access Network.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Because her email is even Michigan College Access. So.
Okay. All right. Any last burning questions or comments before we sign off and go on to the next thing?
Was there a separate step for the sketch or was it just
I believe that there was a registration for it.
okay. I
I can
registered for the okay.
Yeah, so if you filled out the registration for this event, that's how you'll get your sketch. And then this was recorded, so they will make it available, I think, for others who want to, watch it later to get the sketch. It's a general sketch. All right, appreciate everyone. Take care, hang in there. I know that this is the long stretch before spring break, so make sure you're taking good care of yourselves. Appreciate you all.